When somebody need me, I always take so much pride in being there for them because I know how it feels to not have somebody there for me. Like, I love me because when people need me.
Mitim de TV mwen yo, demoiselle sa nou sot gade nan introduction video a, demoiselle la pa kriye pour l'argent, li pa kriye pour relation, li pa kriye pour views sur internet. Mais plutôt, li a kriye pour yon douleur qui pi font passer sans pile moun ka imaginer. Demoiselle arrive lever voix li sur réseaux sociaux, li pas même vle faire ça au commencement. Mais douleur a tellement lourd, li vinn pas ka kembe encore. Li explique ki jan maman tellement plongé dans religion, li pas même ouais petite li encore, li pas tande li pas connecté ensemble avec. Et puis grave toujours Tim les TV mwen yo, demoiselle la fait connaître li arrive développer PTSD. Elle fait qu'on est que li gen une maman qui tellement religieux qu'elle pas même kawel comme petite li. Demoiselle la fait qu'on est maman pas kawel douleur li, maman pas bal valer. Elle aller plus loin toujours pour faire qu'on est que c'est pas celle li même maman traité comme ça à cause de religion. Même mieux frère c'est même mépris à nan même maman. C'est parce que maman tellement quoi li tellement religieux qui pas rien qui est important pour lui après Jésus. Et demoiselle la t'a pas plus loin toujours Tim les TV pour te dire même propre mari maman humilié li pas ba importance à cause de l'église. Moi c'est la fait qu'on est imagine une maman qui ou pas même qu'à parler avec elle sous secret qui pi profond ak pi noir dans la vie. Moun tant que maman pas ba ça la fait importance. Elle fait qu'on est que li te parler de ça quand pile monde ak plus passer trois thérapies tout pas rien qui marche à pas exprimer li pour monter sur réseaux sociaux pour la crier pour parler de ça pas rien qui marche pas rien qui ka guéri vite qui dans quel li a parce que maman vraiment pas ba l'importance li pas vle aider. Demoiselle la fait qu'on est tout et s'il t'a vu nak yon plan li t'a dit mami m'a mettre en bas nous pral travailler ensemble m'a mettre en bas mami l'a dit non ça pas jamais fait nous tous les décapités. Demoiselle a dit ça fait le mal en pile pour elle pas qu'à connecter avec propre maman et ça fait le mal tout pour la penser maman li comme yon monde qui fait qu'à coucher le temps qu'on petit bébé pour la crier derrière maman comme ça. Demoiselle la fait qu'on est que li pas même qu'à gagner avec maman li pas qu'à posséder rien avec maman li même avec maman pas qu'à aller dans magasin yo pas qu'à hangout ensemble yo pas qu'à prendre massage yo pas qu'à sortir dans ville là pour yo marcher ensemble aller dans au restaurant pour ta manger ensemble li même avec maman pas qu'à faire l'argent ensemble yo pas qu'à gagner rien ensemble yo pas qu'à posséder rien juste parce que maman tellement religieux sous prétexte que li pas mêlé avec pas et seul bagage qui est important pour lui d'après demoiselle la seul bagage qui est important pour maman c'est Jésus chaque jour Jésus matin midi soir Jésus.
I have a mother that's so religious that she can't even see me, bro. She can't see my pain. She can't see my worth. She can't even see me, bro. And all because she is such a believer. She is so religious that nothing don't matter to her. If it ain't about Jesus, nothing don't matter. She don't even care about her damn husband. Imagine having a mother that you can't even talk to about your deepest, darkest secret. And then people like, I don't care what my mama do. I'm not getting on the internet to talk about it. I have talked about this to a lot of people, to more than 3 therapists. Nothing works but expressing it. Nothing works. Nothing will heal the void in my heart because my mom don't even give a fuck about me. She don't care to really help. If I came up with a plan and I said, Mama, you down? She's gonna say no. We both struggling and you got things that you wouldn't do for your children. How much love do you got for me? If you make sure you straight every day, but you don't even make sure your own children is straight. Literally, how much could you love me? It hurt. I don't care what nobody say. It hurt to not be able to connect with your mom. It hurt to think of your mom as somebody who just birthed you. That's a big pain. I can't even do shit with my mama. Me and my mama can't go to the nail shop. We can't go get massages. We can't go out of town. Me and my mama can't make money together. We can't do shit together because my mom is so goddamn religious that that's all she care about is Jesus. All she care about all day, every day. Woke up with a mind, stayed on the Lord. Bitch, get your fucking mind off the Lord because the Lord ain't got you on his mind. The fuck is wrong with you? When somebody need me, I always take so much pride and being there for them. Because I know how it feels to not have somebody there for me. Like, I love me because when people need me and they ain't got nobody else, I'm not the person that tear them down when they come to me. They come to me. I try to build people up, motivate them, let them know, like, you strong, bro. You got this shit, bro. Because I really do know how it feels to be in need of help. And the same people and the same person that helped you and watched you is the same people that kick you while you down. Like, you thinking they got good intentions, and the whole time they just bringing you in just to shit on you even more. Yeah, I'm crying, but I'm also loving the fuck out of myself because of all the things that I was, motherfuckers couldn't be. Living with PTSD is the worst. I think that's like the worst. So issue that you can have because it's like your brain constantly just flashbacks to the past so much. It's just like it's stuck. Your brain is just stuck. And you could be having the best day ever. But if your brain think about one thing, it's a wrap. Like, you might as well just lay down. Lay down. Because this shit has been taking over my life. It's been taking over my energy. It's been taking over me. Like, no matter what, I'm just so fucking irritated. You know? I wish that I could just undo some things in my life. So.
Tous les cas, positivement, ou tête chargée bagay ou plus problème continue à monter à sens. Et PTSD, c'est une maladie mentale qui fait cerveau bloquer dans douleur. Pensez ou pas jamais suspendre la vie avec une plus difficile pour contrôler. Tout ça c'est peut-être relation avec maman qui arrive écrasé. Les amis positivement, question c'est pas seulement histoire demoiselle ça. Combien d'autres petites qui vivent même bagay ça en silence journée jodi. Et un pilote mon a subi même bagay là tout qui arrive monter sur réseaux sociaux côté a expliquer Jean religion arrive diviser famille et ça cause de souffrir en pile. Malgré ça, parents pas chercher connaître ça pour régler parce que si yo pas converti ou pas développer aucune relation petite avec parents yo. Gen cause team positivement yo et nous gen merci ça tout team positivement yo qui arrive sur les réseaux sociaux yo avec déclaration ça côté il dit que pas rien qui détruit plus lien familial par ces religions. Mais c'est faire connaître que religion enseigne parents yo à travers endoctrination ça pour yo parents maintenant petit yo qui gens pour yo élever petit yo façon qui pas appropriée à travers endoctrination pour faire venir plus bon travail plus bon esclave et plus bon disciple Jésus. Mais c'est faire connaître que OK non l'été Yeshua et puis te compte toute bagaille religieuse l'été dit pas gen aucun cas qui fait acte à gauche qui pral kembe parole bon Dieu li retient dans gen raison qui fait l'église là pas jamais enseigner personne qui gens pour yo méditer puis c'est dit regardez détendez la prière c'est là où parler à bon Dieu et puis ou dit merci pour toute bagaille ça ou gain pour toute bagaille qui ou arrivé gain et puis méditation lui même c'est les bon Dieu répond nous et puis il dit prends patience et puis quitter manifestation ou yo privé pose mais c'est dit excusez-moi mais les arrivé pour nous mettre un drapeau rouge sous ça l'église là il fait connaître que l'église ça sépare plus belle famille avec détruit plus l'amour passer n'importe l'autre bagage sur planète ça c'est dit littéralement commencer plus là passer n'importe l'autre pays et puis le bouc mettait passer ça sous pédestal parce que si on a pas de vérité en face en pile là-dedans c'est pratique démoniaque c'est fait connaître et puis bagage passer ça va faire porte fermée pour ti mon ak femme qui pas vraiment gain voix par ta clé.
Nothing has destroyed more family dynamics than religion. Religion teaches parents through indoctrination what not to love about their children, how to raise them inappropriately through indoctrination, to make them a better worker, to make them a better slave, and to make them a better follower of their so-called Jesus. Well, his name was Yeshua, and he was against anything religious. He said that no mansion of earth and stone will hold the word of God. It lives within. There's a reason why the church has never, ever taught anyone how to meditate. See, prayer is when you talk to God and you say, thank you for everything that I have. And meditation is when God answers back and says, be patient and allow your manifestations to come through. I'm sorry, but the time has come that we need to put a red flag on what is the church. The church has separated more beautiful, loving families than anything on this planet. They've literally started more wars than any country. And I'm sick and tired of putting these pastors on pedestals because, let's face it, a lot of them are demonic. And the stuff that these pastors are doing behind closed doors to children and to women who don't really have a voice needs to be brought to the light.
Mes amis, Timblezi TV, moi, ça nous sortant de jeudi, c'est pas une histoire inventée, c'est pas un simple cri sur internet là, sur les réseaux sociaux. C'est un SOS, un petit capri, pas pour l'argent, pas pour popularité, mais plutôt pour l'amour maman. Parce que là, un petit rivé dans point ça, pour le dire, maman, pas même moi là encore, lui même arrivé développer PTSD à cause de séparation, ça veut dire, bon bagage qui pas marcher du tout, Timblezi TV, moi. Mes amis, ça nous doit connaître. Religion pas doit jamais craser famille, fait pas oublier petit, fait l'amour vin conditionnel. Religion ta doit guéri, porter compassion. Et pour tout parent qui a regardé vidéo ça, si vous c'est parents, c'est pas quitter aucune doctrine, faire nous perdre petit nous, c'est tendre yo, garder yo et puis remettre gens yo, supporter yo dans tout ça y a fait. En tout cas, Timblezi TV moi tête chargé bagay yo plus souple, le problème continue à monter à sens bien causé. C'était important pour me venir partager vidéo ça ensemble avec nous. N'a continuer mais c'est toute belle Timblezi TV qui toujours là pour supporter travail ça, qui toujours là pour I love you, qui toujours là pour partager vidéo à chaque fois moi pour c'est Timblezi TV moi big up pour nous. Moi mais nous en pile et nous même tout qui pas la peine tomber sur plateforme ça qui c'est Timblezi TV. N'a pas invité venir joindre belle team ça qui c'est belle Timblezi TV parce que nous parler de toute ça actualité. Parce que nous parler de toute ça actualité. Abonnez à la page, follow page pour nous toujours au courant de tout ça qui passe. Timblezi TV moi besoin bien causé.
I know I'm going to create a lot of enemies with this video, or a lot of you are going to unfollow me because of this video. There is no particular thing that broke the black family more than these people that you see around this video. Forget oppression, forget the systems and everything else. The people who infiltrated the psychology of black people, it is religion and spirituality. Let me start with the most obvious one, because it's the one that you are predominantly against. The ones of the spirituality, the sangomas and the prophets. There's a tendency between all of these things, say it's a spirituality, that you find that in the sangoma community, there are too many people that have divided families. They are preaching false doctrine. They are preaching false prophecies within families. Ki masangoma are the fake. They are fake sangomas. They are fake religious, spiritual leaders. They come into families and divide families with muti and lies and false prophecies. And this thing, they come and they lie to children, especially the children. And the problem with this, and we need to be honest, the people who allow these people to infiltrate our families is our women, our black sisters, our black aunties, our black mothers. You guys are the custodians. Yes, the men have failed a lot of the times. You are not going to excuse them. But the people who have allowed, that you guys have allowed to and you've relied for understanding and for perspective, that you've given them the reality and the understanding of the head of the family, is you guys. There is nothing different from you guys and the religious ones, the born agains and the St. John's and all of them. You will think that I'm attacking your church. But if you have spiritual discernment and you are able to hear this video, you'll understand me exactly how you're supposed to understand me. That a lot of the women go to tonbe, bamamele masangoma abu amaka. And the masangoma ngamang abu amaka, they mislead our sisters and our mothers. And whatever these people say, I will rapidisi in your own corner to see if this person is telling you the truth or not. We move on to the churches. Luna, you have betrayed the wisdom and the leadership of your husbands, of your brothers, of your uncles. You are listening to pastors that are telling you what to do with the legacy of your children. Whatever your papa or your spiritual father says, you listen to it. You allow these men to lead your families instead of your husbands. These people, there's some goodness in it, but there is a lot of division. Name me a community that has been unified because of sangomas or even this religion that we are preaching and doing all the time. All of us were doing all these things. We're doing, but the one thing that we are not doing is doing exactly what Christ wants us to do. To be unified. I don't care what you believe in, but the common denominator is that even within these things, your papas, your spiritual fathers, your sangomas, there's a lot of people that you guys go for understanding and reality, and you don't go to the source. Am I lying? Please tell me if I'm lying. You have given your livelihoods over to to pastors instead of your own families. You are willing to surrender everything instead of supporting your children's dreams. You listen to everything what these pastors are saying to you guys. And even some of these traditional churches, they're dividing our homes, they're dividing our families. Tell me if I'm lying. Show me a community that has been united because of all of these people, and then you'll have your answer. So we need to fix even the leadership within these structures. We need to pray for discernment so that we can see who is the true preacher, who is the real sangoma that I'm going to. Or not. So we need to come closer to God. We need to pray harder so that we can see through all this bullshit, because there's a lot of scammers within these things, so that we can go to the right people who can lead us correctly.
It's been a sad week for those of us who grew up either in IBLP or in similar systems, and probably just for everybody as a whole who've heard about another Duggar being arrested, a couple of Duggars, I guess, on alleged charges of crimes against children. And I feel like a lot of times people who didn't grow up in any of that type of system have questions like, how does this even happen? This is crazy. How do you guys not see it? And I think there's several different points that are worth noting. And I think the biggest one is that inside this system of IBLP that I grew up in, the Shiny Happy People Cult, if you will, or IBLP, is that you are systematically taught to ignore all instincts, and your identity is never allowed to be formed. You have no autonomy. You are basically your dad's property, and then you go to your husband's home, and it has to be somebody that your father approves of, and this is just how it works. And I really, as I've been trying to unpack and heal over the past 2 decades, I guess, one of the things that I've realized is they keep people silent because they make you so concerned that you're sinning or you're doing something wrong that you don't even have time to notice the grooming tactics. One, you're not even taught for it, but also you are so busy focusing on yourself and trying to just not piss anybody off, not have anybody look your way. And I think before, at least us girls, before you're too old, without even realizing what's going on, you're trying to keep the wrong people from looking at you, if that makes sense. Meaning you're trying to stay just enough under the radar so that you don't activate somebody like Uncle So-and-so or whoever it might be that is predatory. So anyways, I have had a lot of people that didn't grow up like this in years past, not recently, say, my gosh, the 19 kids and counting. Oh my gosh, that mom is incredible. That family is incredible. And I was like, I would try to sound the alarm bells and be like, no, that system is really bad. Blanket training and the basically beating of children and locking children up. And we had friends who, or acquaintances, who, if their child didn't say yes, mom, or thank you, mom, they would starve the child for days on end. The kid would stay in their crib or wherever, whatever the setup was, but that was not uncommon. And when I saw the news break that more Duggars were involved, I was like, not surprised. I was devastated. And I was also thinking how many other predators are lurking behind the scenes. You know, you grow up assuming that inside of religion, you're safe. At least I think that was what I used to think. And it's not necessarily the case. So anyways, to fellow survivors of systems like this, whether it's IBLP or something else that just basically robs you of your autonomy and tells you that you are not allowed to question, that questions are of the devil, that you have a wicked heart if you question anything. How's therapy going? How's trying to build that sense of self in your late 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever it may be? I understand. I've been doing the same thing, like I said, for a couple decades. And I'm going to assume that most of you are about as protective of parents as anybody you've ever met, if you do have children of your own or children that you consider to be like your own. So anyways, I just wanted to chime in and say I think that it's easy to kind of be dumbfounded and not understand why this kind of shit happens when you haven't been a part of it, but it's subtle and yet it's also a landslide. You're not allowed to ask questions. You have to submit. Divorce is also the biggest swear word you could ever say. It doesn't happen. It's one of the biggest sins you could commit within those kinds of situations. So, I think the inability for children to build an identity and independence was also a swear word. So divorce and independence were probably two of the biggest things that were an absolute no-no within the community that I grew up in. And that's not necessarily just the IBLP system. I know that probably is more widespread. But anyways, I've just been feeling very heavy on the heels of all the shit that's going down with the Epstein files, and now more news of the Duggars. And it can feel to those of us who are survivors like, is there anybody that's safe? How does this happen? What can we do? It can feel a bit helpless. And if you're feeling like that, I see you. I understand, empathize to some degree. We all have our own individual journeys, but I think it's one of those things where making our mental health a very big priority right now is huge. So take care, and I will share more later about my story of growing up inside of this cult.